In our timeline, the US won the Mexican-American War, taking California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and more. But what if Mexico didn't stand alone? The British Empire, worried about US expansion, steps in with diplomatic pressure and naval threats. Under British pressure, the United States agrees to a ceasefire. Texas is returned to Mexico. Manifest destiny is shattered. Mexico regains control of its northern territories with British backing. This humiliating defeat leaves a deep scar on America that will haunt the nation for decades. Fast forward to the mid-1800s. The loss to Mexico shattered American confidence. When civil war breaks out, the Union is weaker, politically divided, economically strained, internationally isolated. The war drags on, bloodier and more destructive. Without industrial advantage, the Union collapses. The Confederacy survives as an independent state. The former United States fragments into multiple nations. There is no longer a single United States of America. No Pax Americana, no American-led world order. With the United States fractured, Mexico rises as the central power in the Western Hemisphere. Backed by British trade and naval protection, Mexico keeps Texas and asserts control over Central America. Mexican elites feel enormous pride. They defeated the United States. Britain deepens its economic ties, using Mexico as a counterweight. Together, Mexico and Britain dominate the Western Hemisphere, creating a radically different geopolitical map. Now we move into the early 1900s. In our timeline, Mexico experienced the French intervention and revolution. But here, things unfold differently. Mexico won the war and became a regional power. Foreign powers are cautious. Britain discourages European adventurism. The French intervention never happens. Internal pressures are muted by military prestige and the myth of defeating America. No Mexican Civil War, no French occupation. Mexico maintains stability as a mid-level great power. Now we reach the First World War. In our timeline, the United States joins the Allies. But here, there is no unified United States. Britain and France are stretched thin. Russia collapses. The fractured American states cannot intervene. Mexico lacks the industrial base. Without fear of US intervention, Germany uses unrestricted submarine warfare. The stalemate breaks for the Central Powers. Germany forces harsh peace. The post-war world becomes Pax Germanica. After the Central Powers' victory, the world becomes tripolar. Bloc 1, Mexico leads Central America and the Caribbean, supporting democracy, backed by Britain. Bloc 2, a Soviet state emerges from revolution, determined to reclaim lands lost to Germany. Bloc 3, Germany dominates continental Europe economically and militarily. There is no single superpower. Three major poles constantly maneuver against each other. The stage is set for an even more dangerous global conflict. As tensions rise through the 1930s, the world heads toward another war. Germany strikes the Soviet Union. German armies surge eastward, capturing vast territories. But the Soviets remain formidable. Mexico sees a clear threat. If Germany crushes the Soviets, it could challenge Mexico's dominance. Mexico allies with the Soviet Union, providing vital resources and naval support. World War II becomes a struggle between Germany versus the Soviet Union and Mexican-led bloc with Britain. The combined pressure of Soviets on land and Mexicans at sea wears down the Central Powers. After brutal fighting, German forces are pushed back. Soviet and Mexican flags fly over devastated Berlin. Between 60 and 100 million die. Europe is shattered, entire regions bombed or depopulated. When the dust settles, the world becomes bipolar. The Soviet Union controls Eastern and Central Europe. Mexico emerges as the leading voice for democracy in the Americas and beyond. The other possibility is darker. Germany pushes to Moscow, crushing the Soviet Union. They stretch across Europe, Russia, and the seas. Mexico, outmatched, falls. German influence reaches Mexico City. Democracy collapses, elites co-opted or crushed. The result, a global imperial order. German-backed dictators rule continents, democratic movements suppressed. Humanity lives under authoritarian empire. The dream of a free hemisphere dies under German dominance. One war in the 1840s changes everything. British-backed Mexico defeats the United States. The US fractures. Mexico rises. World War I ends in Central Powers' victory. The world becomes tripolar. Then World War II reshapes everything, leading to either a Mexican-Soviet Cold War or a global imperial order. History is fragile. Small changes can completely transform the future. Your world might be totally different. If you enjoyed this deep dive into an alternate history where Mexico wins the Mexican-American War and reshapes the world, let me know. Which branch do you think is more likely? Soviet-Mexican victory or a German imperial world? And what alternate history should we explore next? Like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next journey into worlds that might have been. Thanks for watching.